The repositioning flight. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most important things when it comes to travel hacking and, of course, finding the best redemptions, especially on points. So, first off, what is the repositioning flight? What is it? Essentially, what the repositioning flight is understanding that not every airport is an international airport, right? So some airports don't fly directly into major cities across the world. So a repositioning flight would be the idea that, let's say you are in a smaller airport, or you're just in an airport that doesn't have direct flights into certain cities, you're gonna have to fly into another city that has a direct flight. Now, why is this important in terms of points and miles in general? Because if you start doing your searches, right, there's a little finickiness, like there's a little understanding that when you're doing your searches, if you're trying to choose a flight from Kansas City to Paris, it's going to be harder to find an award flight because maybe the second half of that award booking is available with points, but the first half isn't. But it's going to show you that it cannot be booked or there is no availability. So the importance of a repositioning flight is that you can take a cash flight or a cheap cash flight or even find another award flight to a major hub, let's say Washington, D.C. or Paris or something like that, or Washington, D.C. or JFK or Newark that has direct flights to the city that you want to go to internationally. And that is where you're going to find a cheaper award redemption. Now, if you can join the two, Kansas City to Paris, it might be way more expensive in terms of points. It might be the difference between 150,000 points one way versus 70,000 points in one way. So you're saving tons of points. So a repositioning flight is massively important and a really good skill to have when it comes to finding the best redemptions. And one thing to take note of anyways, if you are trying to look at your award flights from a smaller airport, you're still going to have connections that you're going to have to take anyways. So the repositioning flight really just gives you more value to find better award flights, to find better redemptions, because no matter what, you're still going to have connections, and likely you could have even more connections if you don't set it up strategically. You could have 2 or 3 stops depending on where you're flying out of, where you could just book a direct flight into one of the major cities and then book your award flight to direct access into the international city that you want to fly to. So just be aware of that, the stops and the connections. Yes, it seems like the repositioning flight might be a little bit more work, but you're saving money and you're still going to have those stops and connections if you book on Google Flights out of your own city anyways. So we are going to use this beautiful cul-de-sac to explain what a repositioning flight would look like. So first off, we're going to use the Kansas City example. If you are out of Kansas City and you're looking for a flight, right? You want to make sure that you can fly out of Kansas City because it's your local airport. But the best redemption, let's say, is JFK. So instead, you can book that cash flight out of Kansas City, or maybe you want to fly to Ordway or DC. So repositioning flight would be finding the award redemption for cheaper amount of points, the better value out of JFK, and then booking kind of 2 separate one-ways. You can do it on the same day, be aware of the time, but also you can do it on separate days where you can spend more money to stay at a hotel for a night or just leave later in the night. So if you're in Kansas City, you can, right, book the cash flight over to JFK or DC. So we're gonna run over there, JFK, DC. This is JFK in DC. This is where you're going to take your flight. You're also gonna get a better Airbus or a better option where you're flying a more luxury type of airline. So that's what we do. You can book the cash flight. That might be $100 one way to book into JFK because Kansas City can fly directly into JFK or directly into DC. So you book that flight, you take that one way instead of dealing with the incentivized, increased amount of points, and then you get to take your luxury trip from JFK or Washington, D.C. to Paris, because that is a direct flight. You get to fly in one of the better Airbuses. Let's say you're flying Air France on the 777-300, then you have that direct flight, you get the best option. So repositioning flight is you fly to somewhere else around the world, or around the US, technically if you're in the US, to an international hub like JFK, Newark, DC, and then that gives you direct action, Hail Mary action, to the place you want to go internationally. So that's how we're going to explain the repositioning flight when it comes to the cul-de-sac. And of course, the tequila and lime shirt, pretty slick, because you'll also get access to the lounges that are typically a part of international flights and business class flights, and you'll save a ton of points by thinking about that. So if you guys don't already use the website or the app Flight Connections is going to be able to give you what airlines and what airports fly directly into cities that you're interested in flying into. And that's how you should search your award flights. You don't want to search round trips, you want to search one ways, and you want to search out of these hubs because there's going to be more award availability and better deals out of those hubs. So when you're thinking about it, make sure you are thinking about a repositioning flight. If you are in an airport that does not have direct access to other international airports, because it's going to help you save you a ton of points. And it may be a little bit more of a process, I understand that, but it's also going to help you in terms of searching for your award redemptions. Save you tons of points, save you even more money. It's going to give you a better experience for cheaper, and it's going to give you better experiences in terms of lounges if you want, tequila and lime drinks or whatever you fancy in the lounge and food. So hopefully that explains a repositioning flight for you guys. I figured, the cul-de-sac is my guest for the day, and this was just more interactive, more fun. So that is what a repositioning flight is. Utilize that information towards your award searches and your award flights. And if you haven't already, we are giving this game away. Free value. It's a way for me to connect with you guys, continue to show you how to think about travel hacking, how to think about credit, how to utilize it, save thousands of dollars, and improve your process in the free school community. So I love connecting with you guys there. Feel free to hit, or actually just hit the like and subscribe button, comment below what your favorite cities internationally you like to fly to, and maybe even your favorite class or Airbus or airline. So I'll see you guys in the free school community. I'll see you guys on the next video, and I love making the content for you.